One day spent watching Summer League, and I'm convinced nobody in the Lakers knows how to draft a player. Major League Soccer fines the LA Galaxy 6 figures for fan misconduct, and Stetson Bennett suggests that he didn't have the confidence to play quarterback for the Rams. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. So it is July 13th, 2024. As you can tell, we are still rebuilding the sanctum sanctorum of LA sports, but it's all right because we are still going to talk LA sports every chance we get. If you like being in the know about LA, click the like button, click the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist, and by all means comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. Dodgers 4, Detroit 3. Shohei Ohtani rallied the Dodgers with an RBI double in the ninth. Meanwhile today, pretty good schedule. The Dodgers are still in Detroit. The game starts at 10 in the morning. Justin Robleski is 0-1 with a 7.20 ERA versus Keter Montero. Well, that's a lovely name. 1-2 with a 4.64 ERA. It is Galaxy game day. The Galaxy are at FC Dallas at 5:30. The Galaxy have not won in North Texas since 2015. I would know. I was actually at that match. Barack Obama was still the president. Columbus is at LAFC at 7:30, a rematch of last year's MLS Cup title game, with the black and gold unbeaten in 10 matches. But the Crew have won 8 of their last 9. This is going to be a good one to watch. And the Sparks are also at Dallas. That game is at 2:30. But let's get to the news. And I want to start off honestly with an opinion. Because yesterday afternoon, I ran into a dear old friend. We're both obviously basketball fans. We're dudes. We like them, the sports. So we go to see opening day of NBA Summer League over in Las Vegas at the Thomas & Mack Center, which means we watch the Lakers play the Rockets. And he's not a Laker fan. I am. I must tell you, this is the first time that I have come to believe that general manager Rob Pelinka probably ought to get fired. All the drama that you read about, the palace intrigue and all the other stuff that you look at when you go online, when you turn on whatever passes for sports talk radio these days, put that all to the side and just get to brass tacks. This guy can't draft. I'm not suggesting that you should always find the next LeBron James with every draft pick, but he was hired in 2017. And while it is true that he put together a roster that won a title in 2020, his draft picks include, in the first round, Lonzo Ball, Mo Wagner, Max Christie, Jalen Hood-Schifino. None of them have made any kind of impact on the league. Not one. You could argue that Ball has made an impact in a negative sense because, unfortunately, his leech of a father dragged himself into the conversation for years, pretty much brought down the national discourse in terms of basketball by being an overbearing Little League dad. And of course, Lonzo Ball is often injured, so he was the best shot. But he, Wagner, Christie, we always hear about Christie's work ethic. Maybe he does have an amazing work ethic. Where is he? Where has he been? Jalen Hood-Schifino, eligible for Summer League, did not play yesterday. The guy taken after Ball, by the way, just won a title with the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum. But they took Lonzo Ball. Matter of fact, you could argue that the best thing Pelinka ever did with draft picks was send a bunch of them to New Orleans in order to trade for Anthony Davis. This is a lengthy introduction to let you know after what I've seen on TV and after what I saw yesterday in person, I have little confidence that there is a regular to be found on the Lakers summer team. Not first-round draft pick Dalton Knecht. For damn sure, not Bronny James. For damn sure. Now, Knecht did sink 5 3-pointers in the game, and that's productive. But his best shooting came in the fourth quarter. Well, he sank 3 of his 3-pointers in the fourth quarter, with the Rockets Summer League team holding a lead of about 20 points, which meant, oh, by the way, we're taking our foot off the gas. We've got the W in the bag. Let's play bench jockeys for guys who would barely qualify for a G League team playing defense. Now, as for James, on Friday, the crowd couldn't wait to see him. They were cheering his every move until the game started to go on and he wasn't producing. I mean, James scored 6 of his 8 points in the first quarter on 2 of 4 shooting. He scored just 2 points the rest of the way, finished 3 of 14 from the floor. He's a guard. 0 assists. 0. Matter of fact, James's shooting is so bad, he kept chucking it up in the fourth quarter, kept getting open shot after open shot, brick after brick after brick in the fourth quarter. And why would that happen? Because the Rockets knew he couldn't shoot, so they started playing off him. The Lakers weren't running plays to get him open. He was just open on the weak side. He would get the ball, shoot, boing. My friend noted that it was if the Lakers kept James out there in the fourth quarter specifically so he could get those 2 extra points, get himself into double figures for the first time in his career. And yet the hype about Bronny James is still there. Because during the game, we go just for kicks, we're looking at stats, we go to the ESPN website. The website leads with a big picture of Bronny James. Not Dalton Knecht, who at least was hitting his shots in the fourth quarter. No, it was all Bronny all the time. Now, I'm not trying to suggest that Knecht or James are going to be busts. It's way too early to actually go that and attach that word to either of them. Knecht could wind up playing a role as a rookie. Because what I mean by a role, I mean minuscule. I mean extra in a big budget Hollywood blockbuster where you don't even see them. Because that's what Max Christie has been all along, right? James could, after many years of work, which he should have done by staying in college, develop enough of one part of his game to be a functional professional. But if you are looking for any reality-based optimism about the Lakers' future by watching Summer League, it's not going to happen. And that's on Rob Pelinka. And that's the memo. Major League Soccer sanctioned the LA Galaxy $100,000 because people in the supporter group sections supporting the Galaxy lit flares in the stands during the El Tráfico match with LAFC on July 4th. In addition, supporter privileges are indefinitely suspended pending a league review. The Galaxy promised to work with the league on the investigation. So, as you can tell, I'm a Galaxy fan. Have been since I found out MLS was coming into existence. Have been since one of those franchises was awarded to LA, even though I was like, what's with that kit for the inaugural season? Had no idea it was based on the LA city flag. Moreover, I know people who are in the Galaxy supporter groups. I like the people who are in Galaxy supporter groups. Good folks, like them a lot. So hopefully this opinion is understood with the nuance that is supposed to be with it. First, whoever lit the flare shouldn't have done it. It's against the rules. It's obviously against the rules. And I understand, honestly, why it's against the rules. Massive amounts of alcohol plus lighting things on fire is, generally speaking, a bad idea. Looks great on TV. Looks great with the Bundesliga. But I understand why it's against the rules. And if you know it's against the rules, you shouldn't break it. But MLS levied the same punishment against LAFC last year while the black and gold were on a playoff run. The big fine, the sanctioning of the supporter groups. And yet, for MLS Cup, LAFC supporters appeared to have all of their privileges on a road trip to Columbus, Ohio. So it's not that I have an issue with sanctions being leveled against the Galaxy, as much as it is the enforcement of said punishment was lacking for LAFC, and yet for the Galaxy, it appears to be all systems go. Not exactly equally applied justice. Not exactly. You hear the phrase slow drip about political scandals such as Watergate. To bring down Nixon, Woodward and Bernstein worked for over a year on the story. Nixon was even reelected before the full breadth of that scandal came out, for Pete's sakes. And I bring this up because drip, drip, drip has been something you often hear about political stuff. When there's a secret that the people are trying to uncover, and we are getting drip, drip, drip about Rams third-string quarterback Stetson Bennett, who ditched the team prior to the start of last season, and he's been playing it extremely coy as to why he did it. He went on a podcast and admitted he was afraid of not living up to the Rams' expectations. Quote, "It is different because you're much more on an island. At Georgia, it was, are you good enough? But we'll still give you food and an education. But with the Rams, it's, are you good enough? If not, get out of here," right? And it is harder not to think about that because you don't want to be embarrassed and to not be good enough, because when I went to Georgia, it was, don't really have much to lose, right? Nobody really knows you. It's all house money. Here it is out in the open. You're naked to the world. It's like, are you good enough? And if you're not, then everybody knows. Self-confidence for me, it's not innate, unquote. Now, it sounds like we're getting closer to the real reason why he took off. We're simply not there yet. But I do have at least one thing I would like to tell Stetson Bennett, not that he watches this channel. When I was a kid, I wanted to be two things more than anything in the world. I wanted to be a sports writer and I wanted to be a stand-up comic. I was both. Covered a lot of sports, but I was never the top guy at my newspaper. I wasn't the straw that stirs the drink. Meanwhile, as a comic, told a lot of jokes, made a lot of friends, told jokes from coast to coast. I never had a Netflix special. There are greater tragedies in life to not being the hero, to not being the top guy. You can still make a good life and a good living by getting to part of your dream, but not achieving every part of your dream. There are greater tragedies. If being a professional quarterback is too much for you to handle, get out and sell shoes. Real talk. Men respect men who make an honest living and can stand on their own 2 feet. You do not have to be a professional athlete to get respect. If you can't hang, use that education that you got from Georgia and get a job you can thrive in. But you cannot abandon your team like that. You just can't. And that's why you went from being the quarterback of the future to third string. That's actually why you're lucky to have a contract, not whether or not you can play. We are getting more information about the potential sale of Angel City FC. It appears that Disney CEO Bob Iger and his wife, but let's be real, it's Iger's cash, will put up about $50 million for a controlling stake in the club. Now the club is valued at about $250 million, so it would stand to reason that Iger plus Wifey would not own 51%. It sounds as if they would own just a big enough slice to tell everybody else to shut the hell up, which is important, even if it sounds a little sexist, because one of the reasons a chunk of this club is on the market is because the owners can't stop bitching. You heard me. Even if it sounds sexist, men can bitch too much too. The Angel City Owners keep bitching about expenses. There's reports of them cussing each other out. There are lawyers drafting letters. And then, of course, because it's a sport with a lot of political correctness, there's a lot of flying accusations back and forth about microaggressions. Yeah. I have never met Bob Iger. I assume he's a smart cookie, so I don't want to go crazy with the suggestions. I do know Disney employees are referred to as cast members. Do yourself a favor. Don't suggest the Angel City owners that you will now be with are Disney princesses, even though they are acting like that. John Morosi of MLB Network said the Dodgers are looking to trade for starting pitching. Cool story, bro. Thanks for telling us something we already knew. CBSSports.com asked if anything could stop the Chiefs from winning the AFC West for a 9th consecutive year. Most of the rationales that they cited were internal issues. For example, somebody getting injured. Does the offensive line show enough cracks to derail the offense? But they did list one outside possibility about the Chiefs not winning the division. The Chargers winning it. Not the Raiders, not Denver, only the Chargers. The writer targeted the Chargers defense, saying that there is talent there. Surely there's a pass rush. But the Bolts last season allowed a breathtaking number of so-called explosive plays. 49 opponents' plays went for at least 25 yards, easily the most in the NFL. And yet the Chargers lost 8 games by 1 score. So the thinking is, if the Chargers even make a modicum of improvement on defense, the Bolts are a threat to win the AFC West. Hard work pays. We should believe that right here. And I also want to give you a reason to believe it. Former UCLA great Johnny Juzang was undrafted, worked his way through the G League for years, and now has parlayed that into a 4-year regular contract, generational wealth coming his way with that 4-year deal with the Utah Jazz. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Are you as pessimistic as I am about the Lakers' future with their poor draft picks? Which side are you on? Are you pro-Flair or anti-Flair when it comes to watching soccer games? And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back later tonight with a rapid recap of Galaxy Soccer. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Portel Queso production. Take care.